You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly pop and geek culture show covering movies, TV, games, and comics. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that Blade Runner would listen to if he listened to pop and geek culture shows.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Yeah.
You know, Blade Runner, the guy from the film Blade Runner. The main
character of Blade Runner. Please, my father's name is Blade Runner. You could just call me Blade.
Anyway, I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Samantha.
Am I the replicant? I'll never tell.
By the end of the show, you'll know one of us is the replicant. We're going to be weaving in the Void Comp test into this. Play this episode for your friends. Find out if they're robots. Who knows?
And one of us will disappear like tears in the rain.
Like tears in the rain. I was trying to work that in. You got to it before I did. We have a great show for this week. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, including movie trailers, some other stuff. Who knows? Who knows? It's a mystery. All right, let's go ahead and get into our Check 'em Outs.
Check it out!
We resisted the dance this time. We resisted it. I could see.
I'm still fighting the cold. I'm not in full
not fully
dance
into
form.
it yet. Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, let's do some things we've been checking out. I guess I'll do mine real quick because mine is a weird niche thing that no one's going to care about, but I'm going to talk about anyways. Hey, that's Nerd Overload. So I recently picked up a book that I just started reading. It is a independently published book that was funded through Kickstarter called Quest for the Dragon Star. It is a biography about WMAC Masters. Do you know what WMAC Masters is?
I know we've talked about this before.
Sure.
It's like a Power Rangers adjacent thing.
It is. So far, so good.
And well, I'm thinking like American Gladiators. Is that anywhere near that?
American Gladiators, professional wrestling, yes.
Okay.
That's what it is. So what WMAC Masters was, it was a mid-90s show. Power Rangers was huge. Mighty Morphin blew up. So Saban Entertainment wanted to try to capitalize on that by making as many different versions of it as possible. They did Masked Rider, which is what if Power Rangers was Kamen Rider instead. They did Big Bad Beetleborgs, which is what if they were awful robot bugs instead.
The Mystic Knights of Tiernan.
Yes. What if they tried to make their own show with their own suits and also it's Scottish? And there was also WMAC Masters, which was what if Power Rangers was the WWE with a negative budget. Somehow it
with a Saban budget.
Even for Saban budget, it was pretty low.
Wow. Because
they didn't have to make suits. They didn't have to make monsters.
Oh, yeah.
It was just guys in karate gis punching each other with a very vague story about, the master and the 5 stones and the whatever. It was awful. It was awful, but somehow lasted for 2 seasons.
Wow. And
for the longest time, it was considered lost media because they only released like a couple episodes on DVD as like a Mill Creek, throwaway
print on demand.
Just kind of something like that. But over the years, people have basically found old episodes on VHS that they like taped when they were kids 10, 20 years ago. Well, no, not 10 years ago. More like 20 years ago. And, more like 25 years ago, if I'm being honest. Oh, my bones. Oh, I'm so old. But anyway, it has now been found. And they did a deep dive book. I mean, this is like a 300, 400 page book about the production before, during, and after, what some of the actors went on and did afterwards. Most of them were just stunt guys that they just got. One of them, I cannot remember the actor's name, but he ended up being cast years and years later as Power Rangers Time Force Blue. Is it Michael Coupon? I think his name was Michael Coupon.
I remember that name. I know I've made a joke about that name before.
Well, you might know him as the main character in the Scorpion King 3 Tokyo Drift. that made for DVD spinoff to the Rock movie.
He's Michael Coupon. They got a good deal.
They got a good deal on him. Yeah, exactly. Good joke. But yeah, I've been reading through the book, and it's just interesting to see. It's literally a show that they turned something out of nothing. They had nothing. They were using old sets. Like they didn't have to spend any money on sets because they were just using backlot sets that Saban had lying around from either Power Rangers or failed other projects that they tried, like the Sailor Moon.
Yeah, live action
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Did you watch that there's a new documentary where they found more stuff?
No, I did not know this.
Yes. Ray Mona, she did more, Raven Simone, but not that Raven Simone.
Yeah.
She actually got in touch and had a huge interview with the guy from Renaissance Productions, and they found a live action Dragon Ball Z.
Oh no.
A pitch similar to the live action Sailor Moon. There is a Bulma and there is a Goku, and it is rotten. There was some test footage for a live action Gundam, which was basically, what if the Power Rangers Megazord suit was a Gundam? Yeah,
I would have watched that.
I would have watched that too.
Yeah.
That's the thing about these shows. Like they looked cheap. They looked really bad, and they were done on the cheap because they were, well, one, it's Saban, of course, it's done on the cheap. Two, they were pitch reels, so they weren't done. They didn't invest a lot of time and effort into it or money into it. But I would have watched them.
The Sailor Moon one looked like they really tried.
They made the attempt.
Like, it was bad, but like there was effort there.
There were multiple sets. Although, didn't they use one of the sets from, I think they said it was from Saved by the Bell, the college years. They went on that soundstage after hours and basically filmed those scenes there, from what I understand.
The reason that was bad is because it was Sailor Moon. It was trying to be Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Like, if it was something that was inspired by Sailor Moon, but it probably would have been better.
Didn't they try that as well? There wasn't Teen Angel?
Teen Angel.
Yeah.
Which sounds creepy. That's a bad name. That's a creepy name.
Yeah, it's not a good one. But, yeah. God, what could have been?
Yeah. All these anime that are famous anime, if they would have been here first as weird live action shows, what would that have done to the anime industry that we have now?
What if that became the norm? What if our North American introduction to say Evangelion was a bad live action animated hybrid?
Oh, no.
What if One Piece? Although the live action One Piece is actually really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. But imagine that in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. With the special effects, so he looked like Mr. Fantastic from the Roger Corman.
Oh, that would be, yeah. Actually, you know what? I would love that. I would love that. That would be great. I don't care. That would be great. Oh, geez. I'm trying to think. What are some other, like, old anime that people loved?
Inuyasha
as a live action Catboy. Yeah. Or Dog.
He's a dog.
I always think
he's a dog.
Well, he's got the tiny pointy ears, and I think he's a cat. But no, I guess he is a dog technically.
Inu is Japanese for dog.
That's okay.
Actually,
yeah. Fair enough. Trigun. Live action for children Trigun.
For children. A live action Trigun would be good.
It would be good.
Not for children.
No.
It would work. Even the costuming and stuff, I think, would look cool if they did it.
Hey, I've been to a comic convention. People can do the costume.
Yeah. I think if the live action Cowboy Bebop people had done Trigun instead, maybe they would have had a better result.
Yeah.
There's less, like, baggage to Trigun. People love it, but it's not like high art.
Right. Yeah.
Like people see Cowboy Bebop as, and it is. It's one of the best anime of all time ever, probably.
Yeah. Oh, I just had a thought. Okay, going back to live action Evangelion from the 90s. Okay, around this time, Tim Curry was under contract through Saban and whatnot because he did the voice. He did a bunch of cartoon voices. He was doing a lot of children's television at the time. What if we got Jerry Akari, played by Tim Curry?
Oh man, a Tim Curry Gendo would be pretty good.
Oh yeah. You must get into the robot
with your friend Charizard.
Don't make me sit here in anticipation. I watched that. I did that the other day as well. We went and saw that live at the Renaissance Theater in Mansfield, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty rowdy crowd. People brought their stuff. We had toast to throw. We threw rice. We put up the newspapers when it was raining, which is good because someone brought a squirt bottle and was spraying people.
Did people have to take their clothes off in front of? Oh, thank God.
No, they did not do any of that pre-show whatever.
When we saw the Fishnet Mafia version in Columbus, that was horrifying.
Embarrassing.
Oh my God! Anybody who was new had to go up front and strip down to their underwear, which is horrible.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Thank you.
No. Yeah, no, they didn't do any of that stuff. Thank goodness, because if they did, I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
Although I will applaud the one guy. There were a lot of people in costume. There was one Rocky. It was a cold night. It was a cold night. That guy really had to want it. That was some dedication. Yeah. If I ever dressed up for it, I would probably go as Eddie because it seems like the easiest, both for my body size and also it's a leather jacket and like a fake scar prosthetic on the forehead or whatever.
I saw a clip on TikTok of people yelling the stuff during the movie, and it dawned on me that I hate that.
It got to be a little much.
Because, like, it's not... Nobody's laughing at it.
They're just doing it.
Yeah, if you're yelling it, you already know it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know it, you're not going to understand it because they just yell it real loud.
There's a hefty, like, dose of look at me.
Yeah.
That goes into it. And, like, a little bit is fun. It's the same with going to the Room live. I did that once down at the Drexel. And I love the Room. I love seeing people react to the Room, especially the first time.
Yeah.
But there were people throwing plastic spoons at the screen and screaming lines. And every time they started throwing football, people would get up and start throwing footballs in the theater. And it was just distracting. It was like, the movie's funny enough as it is. You don't need all this extra hoopla to go with it, you know?
Yeah, I saw a Tommy Wiseau post that they were going to be in Chicago doing it live, and it dawned on me that, I think I've seen The Room enough times in my life.
I would see it one more time if Tommy Wiseau were there, because I saw it with Greg Sestero a few years ago, and that was fun, because he did a little Q&A beforehand, and unlike Tommy Wiseau, Greg Sestero seems like he has...
he's from this planet.
He's got about a half a brain in his head, and he's able to answer questions intelligently, but also look at it as going, okay, yeah, this is a camp thing. We're going to have some fun with it. Where Tommy Wiseau, I don't know. I don't know about that guy. And the worst thing that happened to Tommy Wiseau is that he found out that people thought he was funny that one time.
Yeah.
Because ever since then, he's been trying to force it. And it's just not there. Although Big Shark looks great. I'm looking forward to Big Shark.
I want to see Big Shark.
Yeah. That's it. That's my check 'em outs. I've done enough.
I haven't gushed about Mario Wonder on this show yet.
Let's do it.
I should probably do that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's great. A lot of people have been saying it feels like a Mario 4 or 5 if that were a thing, yeah, and it really does.
I've seen a lot of gameplay of it, and it looks like a real throwback, not to the new Super Mario Brothers line of games, but like Super Mario Super Nintendo and like that line of gameplay.
Yeah, it actually feels fresh and exciting, and it can surprise you, which is something none of the new Super Mario Brothers games could say.
Yeah,
because they were just cookie cutter, more Mario stuff. It's like the new Super Mario Brothers games are like if they took Mario 3 and just made it 6 more times right afterwards.
Sure.
Because, all the old Mario games is like they don't reuse this Mario sprite every time. He looks different. The world looks
a little different. Sure.
And the new Super Mario Brothers games bucked that trend and made the same thing 6 times. And that's why everybody got bored with it.
Yeah, it's also so weird trying to describe the new Super Mario series, how it's the old series of games, but they were all called New Super Mario Brothers, whatever, 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah,
it's hard
terrible
to
names.
Yeah,
yeah, because it's New Super Mario 1, New Super Mario Wii, New Super Mario 2, New Super Mario U. Like it's awful.
It was awful. Yeah.
And those are by no means bad games, but there are not.
There's no innovation.
Yeah,
there's no innovation with it other than, oh, there's a mushroom that make you big.
Yeah,
make you real big. That's okay. That's like half a thought.
Yeah, now
you can't base an entire game off of that.
Yeah. Or now there's a lot of coin.
Yeah.
But wonder, like, now there's a flower and you don't know what it's going to do until you touch it, and it's wild.
Yeah. Some of that stuff looks crazy, like the stuff that they add to it and everything. It's pretty cool.
It just feels fresh and exciting, and it's been a long time since a Mario game has felt fresh and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's not perfect. There's still some things that, like, I wish it was longer, which I don't know if that's a slight against it or the fact that I liked it so much that I wanted more. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell. I wish there was more difficult levels. There's really only 3 or 4 levels that are any, like, you bang your head against. I want more of that.
Isn't there like it's similar to the Star Road in Super Mario Brothers for the Super Nintendo?
There's a special world.
Yeah.
That you have to find special entrances to. Each world has a secret entrance to the special world.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is kind of like the Star Road or whatever.
Yeah, but I didn't think the levels were all that hard. There's a couple of them that are like challenging, but
that goes back to Nintendo's thought that Mario games are supposed to be for everyone, and sometimes, and to both their credit and detriment, I think having a more entry level game for younger players is a good idea, but also, you do miss out on some of the challenge.
You can do both.
You can do both. Yeah. The Kirby games actually do both. Kirby games are like baby games, but the challenge levels post-ending, the post-game stuff, is usually pretty...
Yeah.
It gets going, especially the newest one. Like, I had the toughest time with that final extra end game boss in the new Kirby.
The Forgotten Lands.
That
was such a good game.
That was a really good game. I wish there were DLC or something along those lines.
That was the Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey of Kirby games.
Yeah, and people don't talk about it as much.
Yeah, they really should.
They really should. Everyone goes back to the Robobot on the 3DS, which was a good game.
Yeah, that one was great.
It was a great game, but people need to talk about Forgotten Lands a lot more.
The other thing about Mario, I wish that Yoshi wasn't easy mode.
Sure. Because
I like Yoshi, and I would like to play the game as Yoshi, but not if he can't be damaged.
Like, they should have, at least with Yoshi, they should have had, okay, you select Yoshi, and then another menu pops up saying, do you want normal or easy mode?
Yeah.
Actually, they should have done that with all of them, including Nabbit. They should have just been like, okay... Yeah. Do you want to play this on normal mode or easy mode?
Even I can understand why Yoshi can't get a fire flower or whatever. Like, that's fine because he has his own stuff he does.
Sure.
He's got the tongue. That's fine.
That's fine. And, if he wants to spit fireballs, he could swallow a red shell and spit the fireballs or whatever. So, yeah. But, they
could even put the egg throwing in there if we really wanted.
They really could. Do you think Wonder is going to get any kind of... DLC support or anything like that?
I don't know. It would be nice, and it wouldn't be the first time like a 2D Mario got DLC.
Yeah.
But it's also weird they haven't said anything about it, because usually they're pretty quick about it.
Quick, yeah. Oh man, what if they put out DLC with Wario and Waluigi? What if this seems like the perfect game for a Waluigi to be his first playable 2D platformer, because the game is weird, and also Waluigi is a weirdo.
Also, the characters are all the same except for Yoshi and Nabbit. They might as well have put them in there.
They might as well.
It's just another set of animations to do.
It's not like they had to hire another voice actor, because the new guy that they got from Mario and Luigi, he's clearly doing Wario and Waluigi as well.
Yeah, well, at least Wario, because in the new WarioWare, he is voicing Wario in a kind of different way.
It's different, but it's fine.
He sounds like old Wario, like from like a Mario Kart 64
or like Wario World Shake It.
Yeah, or just Wario World. Yeah,
Wario World. Yeah,
because the WarioWare voice that Charles Martinet did was different. It had more to it.
It's almost like he was a different character in those games as opposed to the mainline Mario games.
Which, I mean, he kind of is.
He kind of is, yeah. If the game wasn't called WarioWare, they would have removed Wario from the equation a long time ago, I think.
Yeah.
But that's the brand, you know.
But yeah, the new Mario, fantastic. I wish there was more of it to play. I've gotten all of the collectible wonder seeds into all of the levels.
Nice. All right.
I haven't done, there's 3 big purple coins in every level. I haven't gotten all of those. And it also keeps track of if you hit the top of the flagpole in every level.
Right. Yeah, I did notice that.
I haven't done that. So I probably will at one point 100% it because it's...
You're going to completionist it?
Yeah, just because it's that enjoyable to play
Sure.
that I'll find any excuse to go back in there and play it more.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Well, cool. I'm glad it was that good.
It just needs like maybe one more world worth of challenging levels, I think.
No, makes sense.
There is actually only 7 worlds, and the traditional Mario number is 8.
It's 8, so maybe there is. Maybe there's something coming. Even if it's a free DLC. You know, who knows?
Yeah. You've been playing Call to the Lamb. How's that going for you?
Fine. I don't know.
You don't sound like you super love it.
I don't.
You don't?
It's okay. It's not like I don't like it, but I don't know.
It's just something to pass the time.
Yeah.
Like you're not super invested.
Yeah.
I can see that. I've played through a good deal of it. I will say the post game is pretty interesting, and they're working on another free DLC that adds a lot more things for your townsfolk to do and automate, as opposed because that is a little bit. It's like for me, I don't know how it is for you, but it feels like they took half of an Animal Crossing and half of a
Binding of
Isaac, and it feels like less than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, there's just not enough of both. But the post game does add a bit more to the fighting. You basically go back through for a bunch more challenge levels to challenge the 4 bosses one more time, and they actually become members of your town.
Oh,
they're pre-god forms essentially. And so hopefully they continue to work on it and get it. But yeah, it does feel a little lacking.
I just remembered that I've been playing the hell out of Hello Kitty Island Adventure on my phone.
Nice. All right.
And it is great.
Yeah?
It is Animal Crossing, but with Sanrio characters, and also there's little Zelda puzzles in there.
Oh, nice.
Like seriously, there's little rooms you go in that have like legit like move boxes around puzzles, or
oh wow,
like
okay.
How am I gonna get across this gap by like placing a box that blows air up here? Like there's legitimate puzzles in there.
Nice,
it's neat.
Nice. Is Karopi in there?
Yes.
Heck yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're all in there.
They're all in there. All right.
Some in larger quantities than others, because one of the parts of the game is decorating houses to get other Sanrio characters to come visit, like Animal Crossing. Aside from the ones that are already there with you when you have to jump out of a malfunctioning airplane onto an island.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Hello Kitty tries to turn on some sort of cake machine on the airplane.
Oh, no.
And it goes haywire. And Bats Maru actually says, "I'm sick and tired of all these cakes on this plane."
Yes! Yes! All right. I'm sold. I might download this thing. That sounds great.
The downside is you have to get Apple Arcade to do it.
Well, then maybe I won't.
Which I did get Apple Arcade because I canceled my dumb Mario Kart subscription because they stopped making new things for that game. They just said, it's done. It's just going to repeat now forever.
Mario Kart Dash or whatever?
Yeah, Mario Kart Tour.
Okay,
yeah, they finally said it's going into, like, I don't know, life support.
Okay, yeah.
But so I'm like, well, and then I'm not paying for this anymore, and
That's
I've
fair.
since canceled it and deleted it from my phone. Like,
you know what? When games as a service stop doing, like, they stop creating new content, they should either greatly reduce or just make the game completely free at that point. If it's done, just make it. That's what they did with that Mega Man Dive.
Oh yeah,
Mega Man X Dive, whatever.
They turned it into a standalone game.
Yeah, and even if they put a price on it, if they said, okay, we're ending life on this. If you want to keep playing it and just have access to everything, give us $10. That way they can get at least a little more out of it. I would be fine with something like that.
I mean, I had pretty much gotten all the characters that I had wanted and seen all of the things I'd wanted to see. And if they're not making anything new, then that's it.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right, hey, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into a bunch of news.
My grandpa has a radio show. It's called Long Play. He just plays old records. I'm not sure what that is, but they make Grandpa really happy. If you like old records, you can listen with Grandpa if you want to. Friday nights at 11 and Saturday afternoons at 3. Right here on WZMO.
Hey, we're back from the break, and we hope that you are too. I mean, if you're not hearing this. Let's go ahead and get into some news. And do you hear that? Do you hear that echo?
Echo, echo, echo.
That's right. We're going to be talking about the Marvel Echo trailer, their newest TV series on Disney Plus, which is a...
It's the streaming service.
Well, that is a stream. Yes. But no, I'm thinking, okay, Echo wasn't she a minor character in the last Daredevil series?
No, she was on one of
on one of them.
She was on one of the Disney Plus ones.
Oh, it was a Disney Plus one?
I can't remember which one because they all bleed together.
A little bit. Yeah. But this is like the beginning of them meshing or at least cherry picking the ones from some of the stuff from the Netflix, like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and stuff like that. They're starting to cherry pick what they liked about those and putting them into the Disney Plus series, because this trailer features Vincent D'Onofrio returning as Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. Echo, for folks who don't know, is a newer Marvel character. Although I say newer, she's been around for like 10 years. Which I guess in the grand scheme of things is a newer character, but essentially it's you just ask yourself the question, what if Daredevil was deaf instead of blind? And you get Echo. She is a deaf character who has photographic reflexes.
Hawkeye. She was on
Hawkeye. That's what it was. Yeah. And she is essentially, she was a trained assassin for Wilson Fisk, who eventually kind of breaks away from it.
Which he was in Hawkeye too.
Right.
Kingpin was in Hawkeye also.
Right.
It's been so long since I watched that.
Yeah.
It was one of the better ones.
Yeah, and see, that's a shame that it's one of the better ones, and yet they still bleed together and you can't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the trailer for Echo looks really good and surprisingly raw for Disney Plus.
This looks like almost R-rated.
It looks like the Netflix series when they did those, because those were a little more gritty and serious and bloody, and this one certainly is.
Somebody gets shot in the head in the trailer. Like, it's wild. For Disney Plus.
Yeah. Kingpin punches a guy in the face until he dies. It looks surprisingly good. I still won't watch it. I mean, I'll watch it eventually, but I won't watch it when it comes out because I am still burnt out on MCU stuff.
Maybe I'll watch more than one episode of this and stick around. Even with Loki, that just recently has come out, we've watched one and then just have forgotten to come back to watch any of the other ones that have come out since. And it's not that I didn't like the one I saw. It was absolutely fine.
Oh, sure.
It's just, I just don't.
It's hit critical mass.
I'm not excited about it.
It's hit critical mass. It used to be having one or two Marvel things a year come out used to be a real special thing. And now it's like there's a million shows and they all fade into each other and they all have a very desaturated color palette and they all kind of feel and look the same. They're very samey.
And Secret Invasion or
Sucked on Ice.
Or what? Yeah, it was so bad. It was awful. And that kind of burnt me out on the whole thing, I guess.
Sure. Secret Invasion caused more problems that, like, narratively within the universe than it solved. Like, you have two major characters that should have popped up in the Marvel's movie that's coming out here in the next couple of weeks, but won't because they were killed off in Secret Invasion. Talos, one of the best things about the Captain Marvel movie, should be there, and he's not. They now have the problem where the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is an original character played by Daenerys Targaryen, who will probably never show back up in another Marvel-related thing, but has all of the powers of all of them put together.
Oh yeah, and that they're gonna act like that never happened.
Yeah, and again, you're absolutely right. It's not that I didn't like. I think the last Marvel thing I watched was the latest Thor movie in theaters, and I liked it. It was fine. It was enjoyable.
I didn't even like it that much. The last Taika Waititi Thor.
It was tonally all over the place, but yeah. I think I liked the story that they were wanting to tell.
It was fun enough. Like, it was a good time, but like definitely not one of the better.
Well, sure, it's not one of the better, but I treated that one like, well, if you're reading comics, you either have the ones that progress the storyline along, or you have the one shots, you have the one-offs. Love and Thunder was a one-off story. It didn't really progress anything.
Not one of Taika Waititi's better.
Well, that's why they're not bringing him back for Thor 5.
Yeah.
Which is apparently happening.
Wow, okay.
Of all of the Avengers, why is Thor the one getting 5 films?
Because he's the one that wants to keep making them, I guess. Everybody else has bowed out at this point and been like, I'm done.
Yeah. And that kind of leads into our other thing. There's some Marvel Cinematic Universe news. They're tossing around the idea of either rebooting the entire franchise and recasting everyone, starting fresh, or doing another straight-up Avengers movie that will somehow bring Tony Stark and Black Widow back from the dead, getting the gang back together.
I mean, it's comics. That's the kind of stuff that happens.
Sure, it's comics, but also
I really don't think that
it stinks of desperation.
Yeah, it really does. And I don't think that's the reason why that's not going to get butts in seats. That's not why people came to these, just to see Robert Downey Jr.
I mean, he's a draw, but he's not like the reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a draw, but he's not why the movies are good. He's a good part of the movies.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I don't know, man. It's getting.
I wish they would bring Black Widow back because I thought her death was cheap and bad.
It was cheap and bad, but I also I like the new Black Widow. I like.
Oh yeah. Florence Pugh.
I like Florence Pugh. I think her character is. I think her character has more personality just by default than the original Scarlet. Or
this was
Black
the
Widow.
Second pass at Black Widow, so it's going to be better this time.
Oh sure. Yeah, that's a good point. But like, I don't know. It comes down to I think they've diluted the pool a little too much. There's too much going on, and I know you don't have to watch everything, but
especially when things that happen in the TV shows almost never have any effect on the movies.
Sure. No, that's a good point.
Or they explain the thing that happened in the show enough that it doesn't matter. That's true. But for the longest time, it was you had to watch these movies to understand what was going on. So they built that. They kind of trained the audience to do that. And now going into, again, the Marvels, which, it looks fine. It looks like a fun movie, but to get the entire backstory, you have to have seen Captain Marvel. It's easy. That's a movie. That's fine. WandaVision, which everybody watched WandaVision. Although you might not remember the Monica Rambeau being a minor character within it. You're cheating yourself out of a good time if you haven't watched WandaVision.
Yeah. Ms. Marvel, which I enjoyed the first couple episodes that I watched, but I didn't finish it, and it seemed fine.
I don't think you would have to. I think if you just know who she is, that's fine.
Right. And it ties in with Secret Invasion as well. because it has to do with Skrulls. Because everything has to do with Skrulls.
I'll
now.
bet they cut down the amount of ties to that, if any, to a minimum.
I would hope so, but from what I understand, they are the major antagonists.
Huh. Well, I'm not going to watch.
It's going to be difficult to.
I'm going to go into that movie without having seen Secret Invasion. Because I'm not watching that. Nothing can make me watch all of that.
No, read the Wikipedia article, and that's all you need to know.
You know what? I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna go in blind and see how it goes.
Okay,
and see if it's really something I needed to do. Yeah,
let us know because I'm curious. I will probably see it. Try to see that one in theaters because I want to support. I want to. The director is really good. She did the Candyman remake from years ago.
I need to watch that.
And that one was really good. That one was really good. It was a remake, but also a backdoor sequel because they referenced things that happened in the first Candyman movie.
It's a requel.
Yeah, it's a requel. I like that.
That was from the new Scream.
Okay.
Which we watched as one of our Halloween type movies.
Oh, nice.
It's really good. They did a really good job with it.
Cool. Yeah, I hope it's good for Nia DaCosta, that's the director's sake, and for everybody involved in the project. But I don't know. I'm still pretty burnt.
I feel like it could be the last time we see Brie Larson in these things.
Yeah, as soon as her contract is up, there is no renewal. She
doesn't seem interested in continuing to be Captain Marvel.
In the trailers that I've seen, she doesn't look interested in continuing it on screen. Like, I know Captain Marvel's character she's supposed to be kind of gruff and no nonsense and whatever. But she just seems over it. Every scene, she just seemed over it. And I don't know if that's the character or if that's Brie Larson. Probably both.
Yeah.
Art imitates life.
And the thing is, I like Brie Larson.
I do too.
I think she's a fantastic actress.
I think she is too. And she's goofy. Like in real life, I've seen some of her, like she did during the lockdown, she started a YouTube channel and did some stuff. And
yeah, she came across very likable.
She's very affable, but yeah, I don't know.
She loves Nintendo
she
stuff
does.
too.
Loved Animal Crossing. Like loved it. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, what do you think of this reboot thing? They're also talking about like scrapping their whole plans with Kang the Conqueror because of the whole Jonathan Majors real life.
He really is a villain. He's a real life villain.
He was
allegedly.
He has not been convicted yet, so technically we have to say allegedly on that. However, it's overwhelming evidence. you know, it's a very light allegedly. Let's put it that way. Plus, in universe, how could you? It's kind of tough to set up a Thanos level villain when you're beaten by Ant-Man.
Yeah, when Ant-Man beat you pretty soundly.
Pretty soundly, yeah. So they're talking about the possibility of pivoting to Doctor Doom, introducing the Fantastic Four early and doing Doctor Doom.
Honestly, they should have went right to Doom to begin with. Doom is great.
You know, I agree. I agree. When done correctly, I still don't think they've done Doctor Doom totally correctly in films since the Roger Corman 1994 version, which is I will maintain is the most comics accurate version of Doctor Doom on screen. I read someone who suggested this online. Someone said after Endgame, if they were going to do the multiverse thing, they should have shifted and just started telling stories out of a parallel Marvel universe that already has the X-Men and the Fantastic Four established alongside these other ones. They just say, okay, the timeline that had Thanos in it, that one's done. End story.
Yeah.
Close the book. Here is the next one set in parallel universe. That way we can get away with casting people differently if we want to. Cast younger actors that are aging out of the roles.
Folding the X-Men in gives them so much more stuff to do too. There's so much meat on the X-Men in general that add to that universe that there's so many fresh things they could be doing.
Yeah. And the other thing is this makes me nervous for the whole thing with locking down Kang and everything is making me nervous for Deadpool 3, oddly enough, because from what I understand, the TVA from the Loki series is a major component of Deadpool 3, and it's them building a team, trying to put together a team to combat Kang the Conqueror because they know about the multiverse Kang problem, and they go to Deadpool because he knows he's a film character who is like, oh yeah, multiverse stuff. Sure, why not? Whatever. I didn't used to be in this film franchise, but now I popped up. Whatever. And if they're pivoting away from that character, what's that going to do to the Deadpool movie, and how is that going to affect? Is it going to get late stage rewrites? Is it going to be,
Are they going to have to cut Taylor Swift out?
I hope they don't.
There's so many rumors about her being in that movie as Dazzler.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I think
great.
She would be the perfect choice for Dazzler, the character who can turn sound into hard energy. Basically sing at you so hard that you explode. And she's blonde.
Yeah.
You know what? Go one step further. Put her in the 1970s disco Dazzler costume. Not the modern one with the leather jacket and like the, you're looking cool or whatever. Put her in like the sequin, onesie jumpsuit and the roller skates.
I feel like
why not?
If she's appearing in a Deadpool movie, it's going to be that Dazzler.
I hope so. Yeah, the pre-X-Menification Dazzler back when she was just rumored to be a mutant instead of being like on the X-Men or whatever. Dude, yeah, do it. Why not? That'd be great. Shoot, put Travis Kelce, the football player that she's dating, in there. Why not bring everybody in? Who cares? He could be, you know what? He could be Longshot. He could be the other guy, or like Dazzler's love interest that has vague luck-based powers. And that's it.
That's what the MCU needs to save it, is the Taylor Swift bump.
You know what?
The 400% Taylor Swift bump.
You're joking, but it would be if that is the case, Deadpool 3 could eclipse Endgame.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's the truth, because you'll get all the Swifties showing up multiple times.
I'm in a Facebook group for the Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls movie.
Okay.
That had a 1-day Fathom event for it. Mm-hmm. And people were complaining about how every time that movie was quiet, all they could hear was the Taylor Swift Eras movie playing in another theater and people singing along with it.
Oh, that would, yeah. I could see that. I could see that.
Taylor Swift is too powerful to the point where it's scary.
If she were to use her powers for evil instead of good.
Yeah. It's like that thin of a line.
It kind of is.
If Taylor Swift goes rogue, we're all in trouble.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah. And let's transition off of that to some of the other stuff. We had another movie trailer that we watched. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes of the
Apes of the Monkeys of the Jungle.
Of the jungle and the mighty jungle.
The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
They should have named this movie literally anything else, because there's too many of those in the title.
It's too much. It's too much. I kind of wish Josh were here. We're probably not going to talk on this one as much because Josh is the Planet of the Apes guy.
He's the monkey boy. He likes the apes.
He does like the apes. That's a good. Yeah, I know. That's
and not
true.
just the Planet of the. He loves apes in general.
Donkey Kong. He's a big Donkey Kong guy. And
and King Kong.
Yeah, he is. He is Nerd Overload's resident monkey boy. Yeah, that feels bad to say.
I say that with no malice.
Oh, there is zero malice behind it. But anyway, this trailer looks good. It looks like another Planet of the Apes movie.
I need to go back and watch them because I bet I would like them.
The first couple, I watched the first couple of the Apes of the franchise. Yes, Fast and the Furious of the Apes.
Fast of the Furious.
Fast of the Furious.
Of the Apes.
Of the Apes of the, yes. And the first couple were fine. They were pretty good. I didn't watch the most recent one, but yeah, they're fine. I mean, you kind of have to get over the CG ape look a little bit. They're not quite as good.
There was nothing wrong with the way they looked in the 70s.
Yeah.
That was convincing then.
Put people in costumes. Yeah. Practical effects all the way for me, man. But yeah.
The last Planet of the Apes movie I saw was the Mark Wahlberg, Tim Burton one.
You mean those apes are talking? Say hi to your mother for me.
The Tim Burton one where he stole the ending from Kevin Smith, but then claimed he didn't steal it because he would never read a comic book.
Despite doing a Batman movie, multiple Batman movies,
Yes.
and almost a Superman movie. I actually saw something about the Nicolas Cage. This is kind of a one-off thing. Nicolas Cage Superman, showed up in The Flash. He finally watched it, and he said that what he does in that movie is 100% not what they filmed, and he called CGI and AI generation of actors an abomination.
Good job, Nick
Good
Cage.
on him. Just one more person saying that Flash movie was trash.
And one more tick in the Nick Cage is great column.
Yes.
Speaking of Nick Cage, who beat up animatronics in the film Willy's Wonderland, let's talk about another film with animatronics that desperately could use Nick Cage, but he's not in it.
You mean the Banana Splits movie for the Sci-Fi Channel?
Oh no, I'm talking about The Hug. No, I'm talking about none of those things. Those failed scripts for Five Nights at Freddy's. We're talking about the real thing. The one that got made.
Yeah.
Apparently it's real bad.
Really?
But even though it's real bad, it's still making a ton of money, so no one will learn anything.
Yeah. I have this movie downloaded because...
No, you have it on... You have
Paramount
it ready.
Plus, wink, wink.
Peacock.
I have it on Peacock, wink, wink. Yes, legally
you have
speaking.
It ready to watch on Peacock, as do I.
On streaming. Yeah. I just haven't pulled the trigger on watching it yet because I know I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
The stills look fine because I like that they used practical effects.
The puppets look great.
Those look great, but the film, I'm afraid, is going to be stuck so dogmatically to the lore built around the games
that barely makes
which
sense.
Is trash.
Yeah, it was all an afterthought, and kids went so far into it, and he kept obliging it, because why wouldn't you, that it turned into a huge cluster.
Yeah, cluster.
And now they had to make a movie that follows that, which is not going to make a good movie.
On the surface, I would put the fans of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise akin to the Undertale fans. The only difference is Toby Fox actually did have all of the backstory and everything for his characters planned out prior to the game, whereas everything in Five Nights at Freddy's is an afterthought, and it shows.
And also, Toby Fox is an incredibly talented individual.
Yes.
And the Five Nights at Freddy's guy just kind
of a hack.
Yeah, just kind of tripped into a good idea.
And this is not even his idea. There have been other FMV style watch the monitors.
Yeah, he built a better night trap. That's what he did.
Yeah, he did. Very good. Yes. Yep. There we go. Yeah, it's I'll watch it because I got to. For my job, but it's just interesting. I'm interested to see how bad of a job they did.
I'm
going to go in with an open mind. I will go in with an open mind because I do that with everything. Yeah, open mind, open heart, can't lose. But I'm not expecting much.
And it could have been such a slam dunk too, because it's a good concept at its face value.
If there were only one game, the first game, and then they made a movie out of that, it could have been great because the first game had minimal lore and they could have done whatever they wanted in the film. But again, because you have to make the fans of the series happy, and if they get anything wrong, they're going to get 1,000,001 angry Twitter comments and stuff, or Tumblr comments. These kids are on Tumblr, I guess.
Are people still on Tumblr? I don't know. I'm too old.
I don't know. They do the TikToks.
I think if they would have not had Scott Cawthorne, the guy that created Five Nights at Freddy's, so involved with this film,
that's also a problem.
It could have also been good.
It's good to have the creators involved in some capacity. Otherwise, you get the Mario Brothers movie from the 90s. But yeah, sometimes too much creator involvement, it becomes too precious to them.
It took them 6 to 10 years to nail down a script that he would approve of.
And it's a script about animatronics come to life and attack a guy.
And maybe there's ghosts.
Maybe they're ghosts.
I don't. It should have been a slam dunk to make a good movie out of.
The Willy's Wonderland script would have been good enough.
Yeah.
For Five Nights at Freddy's, and keep Nicolas Cage in it.
Yeah, everything about it sounds good until, because like, who do we get to make the animatronics? Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Yes, excellent, great. Who's producing it? Blumhouse. They usually do a great job at horror films. Good. What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
What happened?
All right, so we have just a couple more minutes here, and I am burning to talk about Japanese Power Rangers. Will you allow me to talk about Japanese Power Rangers? It's Sam's Japanese Power Rangers minute. I'm narrowcasting at this point.
That used all your time.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Well, that's the end of the show. No. There were two things that are actually kind of interesting that is happening. One was really surprising. For the first time ever, I think, People magazine recognized that not just Power Rangers, but Super Sentai, the Japanese exclusive versions of Power Rangers. Apparently, they did a little blurb thing about Danny Lynn Brickhouse, I think, or something like that. I think that's her name. It's Anna Nicole Smith's daughter. And if that kind of rings a bell a little bit, it's because, one, Anna Nicole Smith was a terrible actress and married a 90-year-old billionaire.
And was in the fantastic film Skyscraper.
Skyscraper, yeah. I found that the other day, by the way. I have that on streaming. But so there was when Danny Lynn was born, she's 17 now. When she was born, there was a long, protracted legal case, and this was after Anna Nicole Smith had passed, about her biological parent, her biological father. There was like a court case. There was like multiple men vying to try to, because the kid was the heir to Anna Nicole Smith's late 90-year-old billionaire husband's fortune. And it included exhuming Anna Nicole Smith's body for a DNA test. But they ended up, it got resolved. It was in the news for a while. It got resolved, disappeared. Well, there's a thing in People magazine where the girl was dressed up for Halloween. And her father 3D built a costume for her based on her favorite television show ever, a show called Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers, which was season 46 of Super Sentai, one of the ones not developed into a Power Ranger season. So this is a Japanese-only version of the show. She would have had to have gone out and found this. She is on the same tokusatsu subtitle website that you are. Oh, without a doubt. I have no doubt that I know. I probably know the website she downloaded her episodes from. It's probably the same one I did. But it's just kind of crazy that this is like a weird niche within a niche that no one in the West cares about. No one in the West cares about. And yet here it is
in People magazine.
People magazine. And does that mean that we're going to see more of this kind of thing over here? Or is this a weird flash in the pan? Who knows? Probably nothing. It's probably going to be nothing.
It speaks to how wide of a net of entertainment there is now with the internet.
That's true. That's very, very true.
You can find your little thing so much easier now than you ever could.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And the other thing in Japanese Power Rangers news, one of my favorite seasons was called Gokaiger. It was pirate themed, but also it was an anniversary season where they had the power to turn into any of the previous 34 seasons of Power Rangers and use their special abilities. It's a pretty good season. They literally flew around in a flying pirate ship and they were pirating the powers of other Rangers. Kind of a cool concept.
Were they kind of like eating One Piece's lunch?
You know what?
A little bit.
Actually, yeah, a little bit.
It didn't dawn on me till right now because I knew this existed and I knew One Piece existed and it didn't dawn on me until right now.
Was One Piece really burning red hot 10 years ago? Or 12 years ago?
Possibly.
Because that's when it would have... That's when... we're on season 47 now, so it would have been 12 years ago.
It's very possible.
Yeah. Anyway, they
were on episode 700.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, there was an actor on that show. He played the super secret 6th Ranger. The actor's name is Junya Ikeda. He had been in a bunch of other stuff post Gokaiger, and that includes being arrested for what the Japanese public call special fraud, which is what we would call phishing scams over here. It's people calling folks on their phone, typically the elderly, pretending to be PC support or a long-lost relative that needs money wire transferred to get out of a problem or something along those lines. Nigerian prince, that sort of thing. He was
Help,
caught.
I'm Gokaiger Silver and I need your iTunes gift card.
Kinda, yeah, pretty much. But it went one step further to the point where he and an accomplice called an elderly person over in Japan, saying that their computer had been compromised, and then arrived at the elderly person's home dressed as a police officer, presenting himself as a police officer, and somehow scammed the person out of their debit card.
God.
Like, hardcore. He is going to Japanese prison for this.
He'll have the cell next to Yuji Naka.
Yeah, he'll be right next to Yuji Naka. They can, you know what? He'll be the next voice of Balan Wonderworld or whatever. But no, it's just kind of...
I'm not convinced that game wasn't a Yuji Naka scam.
It very well could have been. But it's just kind of weird when you see actors and stuff like that. They just kind of fall so far, I guess. I don't know. It's...
Like, if he wanted to make easy money, why didn't he do the con circuit like the other Power Rangers?
Yeah, there is a whole subsection of Japanese actors from the Sentai that will come overseas for Power Morphicon and just other cons, and will make more money over here than they do over there on making 52 episodes of a show.
Wow. I think maybe Japan needs to pay their actors better.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they get paid better than Power Rangers actors.
Oh, the non-union Power Rangers, yeah.
Sure. But I mean, and also a lot of actors at post Power Rangers go into voice acting because a lot of that show is overdub.
Yeah.
Of guys in suits. A lot of them become voice actors, and it would have been very... I mean, I don't know the guy's particular situation, but I feel as though it would have been very easy to transition into something like that instead of crime.
Yeah, there's so many alternatives to crime and fraud crime.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's still developing. Who knows? But
it's wild.
It's wild. It's wild that getting into crime. Okay, that happens to some folks.
It happens to a lot of Power Rangers, actually.
It happens to, looking at you, Austin St. John.
Or the one that killed a guy with the katana.
With a katana, possibly in self-defense, possibly in a drug-addled rage. We don't really know. That was the Wild Force Red, by the way. He really went wild with that katana.
It shows how small of a place the world is that Power Rangers from any country can commit heinous crime.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Yes. The power is no longer protecting them.
Yeah. Once they're off the morphin grid, who knows?
Yeah. You never know. You gotta find a substitution for that high from the morphin grid.
I was gonna say, is it an addiction thing?
It could be an addiction thing.
Once you can't get the power off that grid anymore, you'll do anything.
Once you pop, you can't stop. Yeah. Anyway, we have hit time, so we got to wrap things up on that point. So you have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com. You can also find us on various social medias, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, Patreon, at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can leave us a message on the Nerd Overload hotline. That number for that's 419-561-5556. Leave us a message and we might play it on the show. Give us a reason to use that number aside from when I forget my phone at work and have to send a text message to someone. Which may or may not have happened last week.
Well, I'm glad it's getting some use at least. You can also find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. Finally, I'd like to thank Parker for helping us out over at the Facebook page. He actually put a couple of news articles up there that we didn't get to this week, but we promise we're getting to them next week. And also David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go take a hit off that sweet, sweet morphin grid.